Let's talk about Alien Raiders, a criminally underrated horror thriller hybrid that pretends it's about a hostage situation until it pulls the rug right out from under you. This 2008 sleeper hit throws you into what seems like a classic grocery store stick-up, but quickly spirals into a gruesome alien parasite hunt that'll have you questioning everyone and everything. We open in the quiet town of Buck Lake. It's a normal day at Hastings Market. A bored kid named Benny wrangles shopping carts, Lisa chats with customers, and her stepdad, Officer Steve, swings by like it's just another evening. Then, out of nowhere, a crew of armed people storms in and locks down the market, not to rob it, but to exterminate something alien. From the start, Alien Raiders gives you no time to breathe. The invading group, led by Aaron Ritter, doesn't care about money or publicity. They're armed like a private military unit and equipped with creepy sci-fi tech and procedures. One of their members, nicknamed Spooky, can apparently sense the infected. Once he finds someone who triggers his radar, boom, they're gunned down. No hesitation, no time to explain. The genius of this movie is how it flips expectations. You think you're watching a crime thriller. Then you realize the criminals might actually be the heroes. Or maybe they're insane, or both. The movie keeps you guessing. The so-called terrorists are ex-scientists, fired from JPL of all places. Yes, that JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And they're tracking down what they call a king host, an alpha-stage alien embedded in a human. The paranoia is suffocating. Everyone's a suspect. The tests get weirder. Drink milk, slice off a finger, stare at your hand, and look for signs of alien infection. It feels like The Thing met Assault on Precinct 13, had a baby, and raised it inside a supermarket meat locker. Now let's talk horror. This isn't just gross-out gore. Alien Raiders understands that real fear comes from not knowing. Who's infected? Who can you trust? Every character is a potential alien host, and the tension just keeps escalating. When limbs regenerate, when the dead come back convulsing, when someone you trusted flips in a split second, it hits like a gut punch. The cast is solid, with particular props to Carlos Bernard, who balances obsession and purpose with a shaky moral compass. His team is fractured, desperate, and clearly hanging on by a thread. Sterling, the biologist, brings in some needed scientific dread, and Lisa and Benny ground the chaos with a genuinely emotional subplot that goes straight to hell by the end. Speaking of the ending, oof. If you thought the twist was that they'd stop the creature, think again. After all the carnage, the king still walks out the door. Or maybe it's already inside the car with you. That last scene? Terrifying. It doesn't give you answers. It gives you a scream and leaves you in the dark. From a filmmaking perspective, the budget limitations are obvious, but that works in its favor. No bloated CGI monstrosities, just smart use of shadows, tension, and character-driven fear. It's gritty, brutal, and deeply unsettling. In short, Alien Raiders is a hidden gem for horror sci-fi lovers. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers done with guns, sweat, and supermarket freezer doors. You'll never trust your coworkers again. You'll never drink milk the same way, and you'll definitely never look at a small-town grocery store without wondering, what if something's already inside? Now let's sink our claws into the real horror of Alien Raiders. This isn't just blood and guts for show. This is paranoia horror, infection horror, and siege horror all wrapped into one tightly wound nightmare. Imagine being trapped in a grocery store where not only armed militants hunting people down, but they're doing it because some of those people might be alien hosts. And worse, you can't tell who's who until it's too late. What makes the horror actually horrifying here isn't jump scares, it's dread. It's not knowing who you can trust. It's watching innocent people get brutally interrogated, mutilated, or straight up executed because someone thinks they might be infected. And here's the kicker, they're not always wrong. The moment fingers start getting chopped off in the name of testing, you realize this isn't a hostage situation. It's a purge. This film doesn't shy away from the grotesque. Regenerating limbs, gory autopsies, mutilated corpses stuffed into freezers like spoiled meat. It's visceral. And when the infected do reveal themselves, it's fast, brutal, and borderline supernatural. These things aren't lumbering zombies or sleek xenomorphs. They're strong, fast, and they hide in plain sight. That's the true terror. You could be talking to your friend, your coworker, even your crush, and 2 seconds later, they're slamming you against a wall with inhuman strength. And then there's the psychological horror. The team of hunters are unraveling at the seams. They're trying to save the world, but at what cost? They've already lost one of their own, Spooky, the psychic bloodhound who was their only real weapon against the hosts. So now they're slicing people up based on hunches, running on fumes, and praying they find the king before it's too late. The horror comes from watching good people go bad because the mission demands it. Or worse, maybe they were never good to begin with. So why should you watch this? Because Alien Raiders does what most horror films don't even try. It drops you into a pressure cooker, cranks the heat, and refuses to let up. It's not bloated with exposition. It doesn't spoon-feed you lore. You learn the rules as the characters do, and that's exactly why it works. It's raw, claustrophobic, and unpredictable. If you're tired of sanitized, factory-made horror movies that rely on cheap tricks and fake-outs, Alien Raiders will slap you awake. It's a bleak, brutal ride that leaves you with one question that'll stick in your head long after the credits roll. This has been your deep dive into the horror hellscape that is Alien Raiders. So hit that like button and drop a comment if you'd survive a siege like this. Until next time,